What's up everybody, this is Mike. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about the drone halo effect. This effect is quite easy to do, but it's very impressive, at least in my opinion. And in today's video I want to share a couple of tips on how to achieve this same effect very easily with your camera. So first things first, of course, you need to have a camera. Unfortunately, you can't use a smartphone to achieve this effect, or at least it won't be the same look. You don't need to have an expensive camera to achieve this effect. Any camera that can be put into manual mode should work just fine. As long as you can set the shutter speed, the aperture and the ISO, you should be good to go. The only other thing you need is a tripod, just so you can keep the camera stable. Next, what you need to do is find a dark place, maybe a large football field or any other field that's outside of the city, because it needs to be a dark place. You don't need a place that's well lit, because we need to focus our attention on the drone itself, and we're basically lighting up the photo with our drones. So I went outside of the city. I found a nice large field that was completely empty. I had some trees in the background, and I could position my tripod in the middle of that field so I can capture the shot just as I want it. That's the key here. You want to position your tripod a bit far away so you can capture the whole movement of the drone. You basically need to make a full circle or whatever other shape you want with the drone while taking a long exposure photo with your camera. And to do that, you just need to position the drone and your camera perfectly. So of course you will need to take a couple of shots just to be sure how to position the drone properly so you can see it during the whole time. And also you need to position the camera so it takes a good shot of the drone and the whole area around it. If you're using a zoom lens on your camera, make sure to zoom all the way out so you can capture as much of the area around you. And then what you need to do is put your camera into manual mode. I experimented with my settings because I was not sure what's going to work and what's not going to work. But here are my settings that I used for capturing this photo. My aperture was set to the widest possible, f2.8. My ISO was set to 1000 and my shutter speed was 15 seconds. The 15 seconds shutter speed gives you enough time to move the drone around and create that lightning streak effect that creates the halo effect on the photo. If you want to have longer time to move the drone around and maybe create an even more impressive ring or halo effect, you can set the shutter speed to 30 seconds, but then you will need to lower the ISO to maybe 500 or 400. You just need to experiment. The key here is to experiment and see what settings are going to deliver the best results. What I did was I flown my drone manually so I can create those shapes myself by just rotating the sticks and moving the drone around. But what you can also do is use Litchi or the new Waypoints 2.0 in the Mavic 2 Pro. So you can create any shape you want with those apps. You can create maybe a star or any other shape, maybe even some signs, some letters in the air. And that's going to be very impressive. But also keep in mind, it's a lot harder to set those waypoints or those areas where you want to fly your drone perfectly. So I decided to not focus on that because it was pitch black and I didn't want to mess up with my waypoints. But keep in mind, by using these apps, Litchi or the Waypoints 2.0 in the Mavic 2 Pro or Zoom, you can create even better results if you put in some time. Another nice tip that you can use is to program your C1 or C2 button on the back of your remote controller to turn on the LED lights of the drone automatically by pressing this button. And that was super useful for me. Once I was ready to take the photo with my camera, I was just one press away from turning on the LED lights of the drone, and it creates a really nice streak in the air from that LED light. Of course, you can just keep that off and just use the green and the red blinking lights of the drone. That's just a personal preference, but I wanted to create a very visible light ring in the air, so that's what I did and that's how I did it. And lastly, you need to take multiple shots and just experiment as much as you can, as long as you have time, because you never really know how the photo is going to turn out. And that's what I like to do. I like to take multiple shots with different settings, different shapes, different movements, and that definitely helps if you want to stitch those photos together afterwards. Maybe you can create a couple of different shapes and use them all in one photo if you want to edit all of these photos together. That's just something that I like to do, and I think for you guys, if you want to experiment, that could be a nice thing to do. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on how I did this effect and some tips if you want to reproduce this shot and create that same effect. Hopefully you found this video interesting and useful. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. This is Mike from Drone Supremacy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao!